Hello, everyone. I am so excited. I've been really working on the 2020 vision. Like 2020, we're going to probably be like so sick of like I've got the 2020 vision thing going on in 2020. But anyway, I'm really excited. So I am so thankful that you are with me on this journey to really grow and deepen our faith. And we're going to do it visually. So I just want to let you know what I'm going to be working on and what challenges I'm going to present to you. So I'm going to continue to present you a weekly challenge, and I'm going to just show you the direction I'm going, and you can decide which ones work for you and which ones don't. And we can go from there. And there we go. There we go. All right. But first, I just want to talk about the survey results. I know that the end of the 21-day challenge, you all did answered surveys, and boy, that was really awesome because a lot of you took the time to do it and really gave me some good feedback. So before I get to the survey results, if you haven't done the 21-day challenge, it is still available. You just need to sign up for my email list, and when you get that confirmation email, there will be a link for the members only page, and I think it's the second to the bottom, that workbook. The 21-day challenge workbook will be toward the bottom. So all the new stuff gets put at the top. So just scroll down. So you'll be sure and also grab the Doodle library to get you started on patterns and borders and such. And then there'll be the 21-day challenge, and then there'll be our November and December printables and challenges. So, but that will be available for a while, but it probably won't be available for a lot longer because I'm gonna probably take that and do something else with it. So just want to let you know, if you still want to do it, it's available, but not for much longer. So so the survey results. So most of you like the challenge. I think I got an overall of a 4.6 out of 5 rating. So thank you very much for that. I really in teaching sketchnoting, really want to make sure that it was a valuable thing. So I think most of you found it valuable, and I know some of you are not able to keep up with it every day. So just, hey, it's okay. We're not, giving prizes for any races here. So get it done on your own schedule. So it's fine. So any little bit you can do, and if it takes you 3 months, if it takes you a year, it's okay, because everything you do is increasing your visual vocabulary and just one step closer to strengthening those visual skills to help you with anything in life, but especially with our visual faith. A lot of you did not like the daily patterns, and so I get that, but hopefully you're going to see through this year, you're just going to have this library of patterns. You're going to go, oh, it's right here. I can use this, and I don't have to like really rack my brain to think about how I'm going to do this art challenge. So it will come in handy, I promise. Some of you loved the recipes and others didn't. And overall, I felt like most of you wanted more Bible devotional studies, things like that. And granted, we didn't do a lot of that this past quarter. And it was more by design because we're really working on our skills. So definitely is something our whole purpose here, is it right? Our purpose is to learn to walk closer to the Lord through visual faith and to bless others with our doodles. So definitely, I promise, we are definitely going to be focusing more on devotionals, prayer pages, gratitude pages, and definitely a Bible study. So just stay with me and let's walk deeper in our faith this year. So that's my focus, just those two things, just to take this visual language, the vocabulary that we have, and learn to worship the Lord through it. So just hang with me. It's going to be awesome. So overall, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to continue with a weekly challenge. And so we're going to do one challenge, and we're going to focus on our Bible devotional study. And so, I mean, it's just sounds, I'll wrap it all up for you here in a little bit. But we're going to focus, I'm going to do a weekly challenge for your sermon sketch notes. So just going to try this week. And some weeks it might work and some weeks it may not. That's fine. But, let's try this font. Let's try using, these arrows. So we're going to break it down into trying small little elements every week. And then I'm also going to start a whole series on just Sermon Sketch Notes 101 for everyone that didn't get to do the challenge and just needs step-by-step guidance on how to do sermon sketch notes. So I'll be posting that weekly. And then we will also be doing a Bible study, and I will show you what our topic will be here shortly. And then we'll doing some devotionals, which might be, might be focused on prayer and gratitude. So anyway, so definitely we're focusing on the Word and the Bible, and it might be so that you just want to do this in your Bible journal and do, in your margins of your Bible, and that is totally fine. Whatever works for you. This is whatever works. There's no rules here. The second thing that I am going to do, these are just things that I do, and I just would like you to invite you along on my journey. And so I used to try and keep a prayer journal and a gratitude journal and try and scrapbook, and it just was a little too much. So I just now have a life journal, and I'll show you pages of that. So I'm going to continue my life journal, and then we're going to do art challenges. And so if you have a doodle library book, if you printed out the doodle library and you're just printing some blank pages and adding to that, maybe in a 3-ring binder, you can continue to add to that because we will have some art challenges. And then a lot of you, Elaine Joy called me the other day and just said, hey, you should do a daily doodle. And, a lot of you are thinking about your planners, working on a planner. So I'm going to show you the planner that I get. Not necessarily it works for everybody, but I do draw something daily. So I'll have just a list of things that you might want to doodle, little icons. But it's not going to be necessarily a daily icon challenge. I'm going to have a monthly icon challenge interspersed in our art challenges and such. So, but this is just sort of a little optional extra. Hey, I've just got a little inch by inch space. I'm going to just draw a little icon in my daily things. And it could be something related to your day. It could be just, hey, I'm going to just draw an octopus today because I can. So, all right. So I just want to start with the optional prayer. So I use a moleskin. So I didn't last year, and I really regret it. I had used it several years before, and so this is maybe just one page where, obviously, this is my parents on December 23rd. They're 67, so 68, so they're 69 years this year. So this was 2 years ago. And so we played bridge with them, and then we had dinner at Bob Evans, and then the next day on the 24th, we went to a movie. So, sometimes I document my days like that, and then sometimes I actually have working days where I have things I have to check off, like my errands, and then we had a game night, so I might draw a little doodle. So, again, we're not out for any art contests here. We're just documenting our life, and I just thought this works for me. I just really like having a page a day. That just works for me, and it might not work for you because I keep my my weekly to-dos in a task list on my computer, so I can grab it on my phone. It's one of those I can grab on my phone and on my computer, so I have it anywhere. So when I need to look at my task list, it's on my phone or on a screen, and then I can just make my list of the things I need to do on a daily basis. So that just works for me, but what works for you. So a lot of people use the Happy Journal or what other journal. So maybe that's a question I'll throw out as to what you guys are using. So maybe that might help somebody that's kind of struggling trying to figure out what they want to do. So totally optional if you want to doodle daily or not, and a lot of times I kind of add the weather. I think I did that. So it kind of snowed these 2 days. So you can add the weather or not. And if you have time, you can color it. If you don't, obviously I didn't have time these days. But sometimes I add, the movie tickets and, other little scrapbook stuff. But, again, I don't want it to be one of these inch books that turns into 3 inches that I need to, expand the binder for. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold, so bear with me. So, all right, let's move on. So here's my life journal. It's an 8x8 Flex-A-Sketch, so I'll put a link to that in the blog post if you're interested. I kind of like these, although sometimes the binder this does come out, so I just took a little Gorilla Glue and glue it back. But I like this because it opens flat, which is why I like it. And I like the 8x8 size. It's just a nice little size for me. So this is the cover I did for my 2019, and actually it'll also probably be my 2020 because I still have several pages left in this book, so I'll at least start 2020. So this book is my, here's just a couple of pages. Again, I'm not out to do win any art prizes, right? So I spoke here. Just had a lovely night watching TV with my son, some prayers, some things we did, and some, so something to be thankful for. Another movie, don't know which one that was. So just to replace, or just some things we did, and just had some nice prayer requests there. Sometimes if I have a blank page and something I see in on Instagram, I'm kind of an Instagram junkie, speaks to me, this one spoke to me. Joy is warfare. There's that verse that just says, showing kindness to your enemies is like heaping hot coals on them. So you love justice, hate evil, therefore your Elohim has anointed your pouring out of the oil of joy on more than anyone else. So, and this is all about Christ here. So anyway, it was just really spoke to me. So sometimes I will just take time to do a verse that speaks to me, or quote something like that. So anyway, so that's another page of my joy, or my life journal. Here's another page. Joyce was having surgery, so she said, "Would you please play for me?" And absolutely, I did. And then I'm not going to really go into this, so maybe this will be another chat. But sometimes I do take a little bit of time to journal, because that was an amazing story. Here, my son lost his cell phone, got it back, and it was quite a little eye-opening story. So that's a story for another day. So just another night on my birthday, my husband took me out to a concert, and here's another day where I decided to do another page, and then just kind of outline my week. So we had lunch with Josh and Erica, and then Dan's home, my husband's birthday, and then we had children's church. So this is what I did. So this is just my life journal, so I can look back, and hopefully my kids will find and appreciate the prayers and such. And it to me, it's already looking back going, oh yeah, that prayer was answered, and that prayer was answered, and that prayer was answered, and oh my gosh, and wow, we definitely saw the Lord's hand in this day. And so, the whole purpose of the life journal, God tells us to remember all the things that he does. And so we don't get that spiritual amnesia, like, what have you done for me lately? That we can look back and see all the amazing things he did. So I think having a life journal is just a critical thing in your walk. So I'd really encourage you to figure out how that works for you. So anyway, so that works for me. And then I also keep a doodle library, because nothing is more frustrating like, oh, I need a little border here and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. So when I go back through my library, my little journal of icons, and then here's another page where I, just here's my circle page, and then there's just kind of a miscellaneous page and my border page. So I can flip through and go, oh yeah, that border would be just perfect for whatever I need. And then you can see I can add to it. It's not totally finished. So when I find a fun border, I'll just add to it. So we were at the museum last week, and so I found this awesome border. So this lady had a dress on, and I was like, oh my gosh, so I took a picture of that border, and that's going to end up on this page. So, and I'll kind of share with you where I get some of my crazy ideas and such in a future post. But anyway, so I just think having this, and so if you have some blank pages, so you have room for your borders and your patterns, and some blank pages in the back for your art challenges, that might be a choice. But this might be too many books and you just want to have one big book. I'm also going to continue with my sermon sketch notes. So right now I'm using the brown paper sketch notes. So I'm going to have a weekly sketch note tip to, hey, try this font, or let's focus on try this layout, or try this. Lots of tips for you every week, just to think about, let's try one thing a week, and maybe things will work and maybe it won't, because maybe it's such that, whatever sermon you get, it doesn't fit at all, but at least you're aware of it and you might use it in a future post. So a future sketch note. So anyway, we're going to do, because we're all about sketchnoting. That's really our focus is to learn to do those little doodles and the elements of sketchnoting to help us with our Bible study and our just daily notes we take in our sermon sketch notes. So, all right, and then we're going to get in the Word. So weekly, we're either going to do a Bible study or a devotional or gratitude prayer journal. So this is a page from my, again, I like that 8x8 size. It just seems like it'd be a nice size for me. So this is a page from our Bible study from Acts. So this is chapter 21 and 22. And then here's our prayer list for the week. And so just a page. And that was just when I look back, and it was just very impactful. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember all of that. So anyway, so we're going to do Bible study, and I'm going to show you what we're going to start out with is the names of God. So some of you might remember at the end of November, I asked you for some verses and how to vote on verses. And these 5 seconds, I can't remember which one, but I think it was one in Romans. I can't remember. And I sat down, and I just really felt like that was the verse, and I was going to work on it, and I got nothing. And oh my gosh, it was like so frustrating. It's like I had nothing. I had just no ideas, I was this blank page. And so I thought, okay, I'll keep looking. And I just felt like God was saying, hey, remember that study of all my names that you did? Why don't you go back and look at that? And that is at least the third time that it had come back to me. So I'll show you an up close picture. So, So I have always been fascinated with the names of God. And this year, in February, March, somewhere in the spring, I had an opportunity to interview Rachel Larkin, and she's from New Zealand. So I will link, this is my very first video I ever did, so it's a little challenging, but to help her promote this book. And so I think you can get the Kindle, it's $4.99. So I will be using this book. You do not have to buy any books. I'm going to kind of summarize hers, plus bring in a couple other things when I do a name of God. But anyway, so this happened back in the spring, and I was like, oh, that'd be great. And so maybe I'll do a Bible study at church on the names of God. And then I never did. And then I went to the Ultimate Bible Journaling Retreat in Michigan with Monica with the Bright Bible, and Elizabeth Chu spoke. And what did she speak on? You got it, the names of God. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And so she sent me her resources on what she used. And so I thought, well, that's great. I needed to do Bible study. And here I am doing my calendar, and what comes back to me is the names of God Bible study. So I did these little images, these little sketch note images, well, most of them, several years ago. So what started me getting on this path was I have this Bible of my son, and we went to a little church way back when. We still go to the same church, but anyway, but way back when, the pastor thought, oh, we all need name tags, which I never got because we all knew each other. It was a really small church. So, but we had to have name tags. And then somehow at the end of church, all those name tags ended up on my son's Bible. And in fact, I should probably find a picture of that sometime and show you that. And it just got me to thinking that if God showed up, okay, I know God's always there, but if God showed up, walked in the church, and or if he was at a conference and he had to fill out a name tag, what name would he use? And so that really got me thinking about all the amazing hundreds of names of God and how he's known. Because so what hit me was he's going to write on that name tag the name that I need for him to be that day. So he will be there for us. And so I thought, well, since I've already sketchnoted, we're talking about sketchnoting, and I just felt like this is what we need to do. We need to know God better, because if we know who he is, we can have a deeper relationship with him. We can walk better. We can pray deeper. if we know who he is to us. So that's where we're going. So we're going to do, I've got 12 here, so we're going to do one a month. And so we will start with one of these, and you will have a challenge to go with each one of these. And because our God is knowable. Of a Bible, when I started this Bible study, so El Shaddai, and so the names of God Bible spells it SHADDY, and mostly it's AI, I don't know. So, but here's just one page that I started, but we're going to continue on and do a whole study about what it means, and then hopefully I'm going to provide you an opportunity to do a page and then some other challenges with each name so we get to know him better. I just think it's going to be great for our walk. So what does this mean in terms of supplies? So this is what I use, okay? And this might drive you nuts, and that's totally okay. So this is my daily moleskin, right? This is my daily planner. This is my sermon sketch note. This is my life journal. This is my Bible study, and this is my my library. So having 5 books might drive you crazy. That's totally fine. So maybe you don't need a Bible study. Maybe you're just going to put it in your Bible journal. Okay, just journal in the margins. That's fine. And maybe you don't want a life journal. Maybe your daily planner and your life journal could be the same thing, right? And then whatever you're doing for your sermon notes. So your sermon notes might also be in your Bible. So. And then if you want to just have loose leaf pages, you can put in a 3-ring binder to add on to the doodle sketch note library that I have for you. That works. So if 5 books are going to drive you crazy, don't go crazy. Or if you're like, I am not going to do whatever, then don't do the life journal, or don't do the study of the names of God. Whatever works for you. This is like no stress. I just want you to stop and slow down and take time and be in the Word. So whatever that looks like for you, you should do that, okay? So you don't need to go out and buy 5 notebooks, okay? These are all notebooks I have. I'm not buying any notebooks for this year. I'm just continuing with what I already have. But if you're just starting, I mean, mostly everybody's got their own planner, right? So maybe we're only talking 4 things. So and hopefully you're already doing something with your sermon notes, or you're going to do something with your sermon notes. But again, really encourage you, no lined paper. I know I still see some of you with lined paper out there. So you're going to be so much happier without lined paper. So graph, dot, grid, blank, it's just going to make you freer to just doodle more, right? So figure out what it is, right? So, and then you're going to need some black pens. You want to make sure that they're permanent, and some kind of color, or maybe not. Maybe you just want to leave it black and white, but you could just use a highlighter, colored pencils, pens. I say watercolor, depending on what kind of paper you're using. You know, if you're going to use a Bible journal, I've not really ever been really happy with the watercolor and on those pages. They tend to crinkle up. So, but it's totally up to you. So it's time for you to experiment. So please join me in this path. So, just to recap. So on Monday, I will have a devotional study. So we'll introduce the name of God, or I will give you an idea for a prayer page or gratitude page, or give you a spread for my life journal. So something that you can focus on, or I might give you an art challenge, like your first week out. You're going to have the first 2 weeks art challenge, and then actually the 3rd week we'll actually get to the first name of God. Wednesday is going to be a pop-up, so might be, hey, here's a really quick way to draw this little thing, or I might ask you a question, or just give you a really quick tip, something like that. So that'll be on Wednesday in the Facebook group, and then Friday I will have a blog post where I will talk about sermon sketch notes, and then give you a challenge for the week to try with your sketch note on Sunday. And then obviously there's a day to doodle. So if you do a little doodle and you draw a bird or an octopus or the mountains or whatever, feel free to post those. That would be awesome. Feel free to do that. If you want to take a little picture of your daily journal. So join me and let's grow in the Word together. So think about what you want to do. Get the books you need, get the supplies you need, and I will probably actually post the first challenge on Monday next week, and bring a friend. Do this with a friend. Do this with your, grandkid, with your daughter, your son. Somebody that could grow in their faith. Bring them along. I'd love to have them. I'd love just to welcome them to our tribe. So thank you so much for all your posts and your great positive comments. This has probably been the most positive Facebook group I've just ever been in, and I just totally love it, and everybody's just so encouraging. So keep up the work, and please keep posting. I want to see what you guys are doing and what you're thinking. So keep on posting, and let's just walk together in 2020. So I'll see you in the next post.